Welcome, welcome. Welcome to another Sunday here at Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you for joining us for the meditation. If you're just joining us, thank you for joining us. Happy November 1st, a new month, a new moon, full moon in the building. Happy election week. It's a big week in our country. I'm going to remind us this morning about our power, the power of our collective voice, and why it's so important for us to use that voice. Because we all have the power when we come together. And it's customary when I'm in the building, everybody turn on your cameras and wave at somebody for the opening. They asked me why I vote. They want to know the reason, and I asked them if they ever heard of Thomas Mundy Peterson, the first black man to cast a ballot. The 15th Amendment took damn near 100 years till it was valid. Matter of fact, it wasn't until the Voting Rights Act of 1965 you start to see your impact. To stop the black vote, they go to desperate measures to suppress, make us recite the Constitution, literacy tests, death threats, even go so far, make us count the jelly beans in a jar. If it wasn't so important, why they take so hard to take us from it? Women's suffrage. No wonder people so reluctant, don't believe in the process. Look at the numbers. Less than 60% of the country hit the polls each November. That's why these politicians keep pushing their same agendas. At the end of the day, they elected to represent us, and we all have the power. The power. We have the power. We all have the power. The power, we have the power. The power's in you, the power's in me. The power's in us, the power's in we. Let's take the power, tell our people are free, come on. The power's in you, the power's in me. The power's in us, the power's in we. Let's take the power, tell our people are free, and it's all about unity. It's all about community. It's all about you and me. Come together and we share our power. Express our power. Together we have so much power, y'all. The powers in we. Let's take the power, tell our people are free. It's all about unity, love, and unity. The powers in you. The powers in me. The powers in us. The powers in we. Let's take the power, tell our people are free. Unity, peace, and love. Make sure you vote November 3rd if you haven't already. And now I'm going to pass it on to the beautiful, lovely Miss Maureen. Give thanks.
Good morning, OCSL. Thank you so much, Kev, for blessing us with your gift this morning. It is always wonderful to hear your fingers go across the keyboard, that's for sure. So thank you. So wonderful, wonderful morning, November 1st. November is a wonderful month for me. I love fall, the fall chill, the fall leaves, just everything fall is just wonderful. Hot cocoa, hot tea. So make sure you take some time to get out and to really take in the deep breath of the fallness that we see here. My name is Maureen French, and I will be your host today for today's service. Welcome to the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, where we teach spiritual principles and practices that nourish us, uplift us, and celebrate our oneness with all of life. Welcome to those of you joining us today via Zoom. Hi, everybody. And a special welcome to those of you who are joining us for the very first time. If you'd like to connect and learn more about our center, please email Constance Chapman, our administrative coordinator, at constance@oaklandcsl.org. In order to maintain a sacred space this morning, please take a moment and check and make sure that you're muted and that your video is turned off. Now, let's take a moment to bless our children. If everybody could take a deep breath with me. And read along.
We
honor all our youth
and children
in our community and the world.
We love you.
We love you. We see your spirit's gift to us. Thank you for being in our lives. And so it is.
Blessed be.
And now for some announcements in the OCSL community. What's happening, right? Well, this coming Wednesday, we have a very special satsang service planned. The theme this month is living as compassionate conduits. I don't know about you, but I definitely want to live as a compassionate conduit. That sounds fun. Reverend Tony, Reverend Jerry, and Reverend Sally are going to come together on Wednesday night and take a deep dive into what it means to live as a compassionate conduit. I think those three people might have some good insight to share with us on that. Meditation is at 6:30 and service starts at 7. I hope to see you all there. Of course, the Zoom information is going to be on the website, oaklandcsl.org. So be sure to visit that to find out more information. Also, after service today, you can join practitioners Zoe DeMuro, Bonnie Gonzalez, and Susan Brecker for the Compassionate Attention to Loss group that is going to be meeting this afternoon. Whether you've lost someone close to you or feeling grief over all the different changes going on in daily life, this group is here to be able to offer you some calm. So please join them today, this afternoon. Also, one of the ways that we can be the change that we want to see in the world is by joining the Ministry of Prayer and the Oakland Center practitioners for an hour of prayer and contemplation tomorrow and Tuesday from 5 to 6. Come and be led in an hour of knowing the truth of who and whose you are. I think at this time, it's really important to make sure that we stay connected to whose and who we are. Please join us tomorrow and Tuesday for an hour of prayer and filling each other up with love.
Thank you.
The information, of course, can be found on the Oakland CSL website. Okay, guys, pledge month is over, but it doesn't mean you still can't pledge. Be sure to get your pledge in. Yes, pledge month is over, but there's still opportunities. There's the information on the website you can pledge. And I found out that we haven't met our numbers like we have last year. So given the COVID, I get it, COVID, but let's really look at ourselves and think about the intention for 21. What do we want to bring? We want to bring abundance, right? And so let's be sure that we make sure to set our intentions for 2021 for our center as well by going to our website and pledging. Thank you. So with regards to having the spiritual small groups, we've had enough interest to form 2 in-person groups. They are designed to explore monthly themes like living as a compassionate conduit, for example, and also readings that we can talk about with other villagers. So for people that aren't quite comfortable about meeting in person, that's okay. We like to make sure that you have an opportunity to participate regardless if you want to meet in person or not. You can also do this online. Please be sure to go to our website to fill out the survey so that we can know your availability to be able to organize these groups so that we can come together and to be able to speak about our spiritual journeys. Finally, one of the last announcements is our open forum for the center is next Sunday. It starts at 12:30 via Zoom. So it'll be Sunday, November 8th. Check the website for more information. I know for me, I hadn't gone to an open forum, when I first started coming. It took me about 1.5 years before I went to an open forum. And I'll tell you, attending an open forum really gives you a different look at the church, and it allows you to feel more a sense of community and feel more connected to what's going on behind the scenes. It's a really good example or experience to be able to kind of see the things that are going on behind. Also, be sure to check the village news. More information is constantly being put up there by the wonderful Constance Chapman, and you can always find out more about the activities and the different groups that are going on. Also, of course, oaklandcsl.org. That is the place to be for all this information. And now, for I think one of the best parts of service, for me at least, is to read our vision and mission statement. This really helps me to get centered and to really get into the service. So if you could all take a deep breath with me and read aloud.
Vision.
The vision of the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living is to joyfully reveal the love and oneness of God. We are a welcoming and inclusive spiritual community dedicated to individual transformation and collective growth. Our purpose is to love, inspire, and serve our community and the world through education, music, prayer, and play. So thank you, OCSL family. I wish you the best service. Now I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Constance Chapman.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Hello, Constance.
It's so nice to be in front of the camera instead of behind the camera for a Sunday. So we have 2 wonderful readings today. The first one, and Kev this morning was singing about power. And so this first reading by Ernest Holmes is about the power of choice. The power of choice with which man has been endowed is either his greatest blessing or his greatest curse. Properly understood, it can lift him to the heights. Misunderstood, it can drag him to the depths. He is free to choose anything which he wishes, but he must accept the responsibility for his choices, because inexorable law will create his experiences according to his choices. And the second reading is by Raymond Charles Barker. An intelligence abides in your subconscious and awaits your call upon it. You may say you do not know what to do, but at the center of your mind is a clear decision that you should make. It is right there. And so just allowing those words to settle into your heart and into your subconscious. Just take a breath. And just know that you are breathing God. You are breathing that one energy. that one life force, that one divine intelligence. And contained within that one energy is all the choices. The thing that is so magnificent about this energy that we call God is that energy loves all the choices, regardless of their outcome. But that energy just holds everything, cradles everything like a brand new, like a newborn, like something that is so precious, because life is precious. And that energy gives us life. That energy, we come from that energy, and we are that energy. And so how good it is to know that that's who and what my life is. And how good it is to know that it is the life of everyone on this call. It is the life of everyone who's even thinking about coming to this call. It's the life of everyone who watches this Zoom recording later. And so I just claim that this service is good and very good, that this service is divinely guided, that Rev.Jeff just sinks into that oneness, and that the voice of that one speaks through him and as him. And that the words land on each person's ears in exactly the way they need to today. That we each walk away from this taking exactly what we need. And I just bless the musicians. I bless everyone who's behind the cameras, everyone who's on the call, everyone who's speaking today. And I just claim again that this is a divine day. This is a divine service. And so how very grateful I am for knowing this truth. How grateful I am for knowing the truth of that divinity we call God. And so I just release this word. I release it into that mysterious entity we call the law. The one thing we know about that law is it always says yes. And so please join me in saying, and so it is. And so I now have the incredible privilege of turning over to the magnificent, amazing, divine voice and person of Omega Ray.
Morning. Thank you so much.
Omega.
Yay.
Hey.
I'm going to sing a song called Break the Shell. I met a prophet, dark as the night. She could see into my soul. She said she'd be watching and had some advice. She said shadows make you whole. A life without pain is a wolf in sheep's clothes. 'Cause if you listen to the lessons that it holds, the choice will unfold. Child, it's time to break the shell. Life's gonna hurt, but it's meant to be felt. You cannot touch the sky from inside yourself. You cannot fly until you break the shell. I can remember when I was a child, how the grown folks seem so crazy. Why are they so angry? Why are they so loud? And when I grow up, that's never ever gonna be me. That was the moment that I decide that I would build a wall just shy of 6 feet tall, too strong to fall. Child, it's time to break the shell. Life's gonna hurt, but it's meant to be felt. You cannot touch the sky from inside yourself. You cannot fly until you break the shell. Courage is not being hard. It's time to peel back all of the layers you put between who you're meant to be and who you are. Go be who you are. Child, it's time to break the shell. Life's gonna hurt, but it's meant to be felt. You cannot touch the sky from inside yourself. You cannot fly until it breaks. Child, it's time to break the shell. Life's gonna hurt, but it's meant to be felt. You cannot touch the sky from inside yourself. You cannot fly until it breaks the shell. Amen.
Amen, Omega Ray.
I want to introduce Rev.Jeff.
Good morning, Omega Ray. Thank you so much. God, that was pretty stuff. Good morning, everyone. Happy November to you. Unbelievable. The March that froze in time and has dropped us here temporarily in November. Unbelievable. And it ain't over yet. The March that froze in time. This week is a busy week, certainly. Energetically busy, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So let's take a breath. Oh, goodness. We're going to need all the breaths we can get this week. So we might as well start practicing now together, yes? So we sometimes refer to our teaching as New Thought, Ancient Wisdom. We're going to start this morning with wisdom, perhaps not ancient, but wise nonetheless. And perhaps there's something in us, in this piece for us today. We look for and we find timeless truths. And my thanks to Constance, who found this clip for us this morning. I want to share from you about 3 minutes from Dr. Martin Luther King. Peter, can we go ahead and play that clip, please? Please.
Suffice it to say that we stand in one of the most momentous periods of human history. And in these days of emotional tension, when the problems of the world are gigantic in extent and chaotic in detail, all men of goodwill must make the right decisions. And on Tuesday, 1 week from today, the people of this nation must decide whether they want America to remain true to the great words of the founding fathers. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We must decide whether those words will be firmly etched into the structure of our nation, or whether we will allow our nation to be relegated to a second-rate power in the world with no moral voice. We must decide next Tuesday whether America will take the high road of justice and peace, compassion for the poor and underprivileged, or whether this nation will tread the low road of man's inhumanity, the man of injustice, of short-sightedness. Each of us has a moral responsibility, if we are of voting age and if we are registered, to participate in that decision. I come here to urge every person under the sound of my voice to go to the polls on the 3rd of November and vote your convictions. Now, I know you're intelligent people, and I don't need to tell you who you should vote for. I don't have any fear about that. You know who to vote for. I'm just asking you to vote. Now, just if you need, very serious, never before in the history of our nation, as a candidate for the presidency, taken such a negative stand on the demands of our Judeo-Christian heritage for justice, and understanding, goodwill, and compassion for the poor, and peace. And so all men of goodwill will go to the polls on November the 3rd. And I hope we will have a great day in our nation, so that when we wake up on the 4th of November, we will know that America has made the right decision.
Wow, huh? That's what I thought the first time I thought, wow. The more things change, the more they stay the same, huh? We could be speaking to these times. So one of the things that I do hope is that you're taking care of yourself this week. It's a big week. Peter, can we put up that, that schedule of events? This week, we have a lot of things going on, a lot of things in place to support you as we navigate the days ahead. Prayer support today after service, prayer and meditation time both Monday, tomorrow, and Tuesday evenings with our licensed prayer practitioners. And then Wednesday, our staff ministers will host our Wednesday meditation at 6:30, followed by a continuation of our conversation of our November theme, which is living as compassionate conduits. Thank you, Peter. Which will no doubt lead us into other questions. The other question that inevitably will come up for some of us Wednesday is what's next? Personally, collectively, we have discovered in the last handful of years that we have much work before us to show up living as compassionate conduits. It goes right along with one of our favorite affirmations. I am a place where the good of God shows up in the world. And we know that there are 1,000 ways that good can show up, 1,000 ways to kneel and kiss the ground. What else is going on this month? Wait, we're as wacky a year as it's been. It's also been extremely busy. We have Pledge, which Maureen spoke to a little bit. Thank you. Every fall, we take time to have a family conversation here at our center about the cost of doing business, church business, which this year, FYI, is between $24,000 and $28,000 a month, $290 to $335 a year. It's not a huge overhead, but it needs to be paid regardless of the amount. So say about $13,500 a month minimum. So let's see, $27,000 a month, $27,000 a month about meets our expenses. Our pledges for 2021 to date, as of today, and this is maybe off by a little bit, but it's pretty close, are about $13,500. That's where I got the $13,500 a month. So let's see, $27,000 a month is our overhead plus or minus our pledges for 2021 to date. As of today are about $13,500. So almost exactly half of what we have projected that we need to pay for bills in 21 has been committed to via pledge. So I thank you for that. A lot of the remaining income in the past few years has been from rentals and other events, none of which are happening for the immediate future, at least. They will eventually. But in the meantime, we need to make up for that income. And for that, we come to you and ask that you please pledge or increase your pledge today. There's a lot that we don't know in today's world, certainly, but we know a tax-deductible contribution when we see one. And we know that this village provides spiritual nourishment, spiritual sanctuary to anyone who seeks it, and has for 75 years now. Our legacy is to continue to be that place. And for those of us who have increased your pledge, about half of our pledges this year reflect an increase over last year. We're grateful for that too. It reflects your commitment and your faith in this community. Let's see. And what else this week? Yeah, still Tuesday. Tuesday is still hanging out there. I've never been real good on remembering things like election nights. I do remember the last one. And I thought how perfect that we have a prayer that I'll read to you this morning, and actually you'll hear a lot of this week. I have found this prayer to be a good companion this last week. We'll be using this prayer multiple times during the week to ground ourselves and center ourselves. My prayer for my country by Dr. Holmes. This was written in 1939. It occurs to me that maybe we need to start and end our days with this prayer this week, certainly anyway. Make it a daily practice. Dr. Holmes writes this: believing in the divine destiny of the United States of America and in the preservation of liberty, security, and self-expression, I offer this, my prayer for my country. I know that divine intelligence governs the destiny of the United States of America, directing the thought and the activity of all who guide its affairs. I know that success, prosperity, and happiness are the gifts of freedom and are the divine heritage of everyone in this country. I know that success, prosperity, and happiness are now operating in the affairs of every individual in this country. I know that divine guidance enlightens the collective mind of the people of this country, causing it to know that economic security may come to all without the loss of either personal freedom or individual self-expression. I know that no one can believe or be led to believe that freedom must be surrendered in order to ensure economic security for all. The all-knowing mind of God contains the answer to every problem which confronts this country. I know that every leader in this country is now directed to this all-knowing mind and has the knowledge of a complete solution to every problem. And each is compelled to act upon this knowledge to the end that abundance, security, and peace shall come to all. And I know that this spiritual democracy shall endure, guaranteeing to everyone in this country personal liberty, happiness, and self-expression. And so it is. Amen. Living as compassionate adults. See, common sense tells me that the more I cleanse that conduit, which is my mind and my heart, the better steward that I am of that, the less impeded life is. Able to utilize that conduit that is my mind and heart, that is your mind and heart, as a free-flowing vessel for good in the world. And those accumulated conduit inhibitors, like mental plaque, sometimes calls for a mental hygienist. I like the model. I was thinking about it again this week, and I had a couple of ahas. First, My dental hygienist does not distinguish between plaque. Saturday plaque here and Wednesday there and last week here and last year there. My hygienist knows that any plaque, any old hidden beliefs will impede the flow and inhibit wellness, indeed actively contribute to unwellness. Doesn't matter where it came from or when or from whom. I realized this week that any work that I do clearing a path for good in my life contributes to a greater good for the whole, whether I can see the correlation or not. I have an example of that. I have a sad car insurance story for you this morning. Yes. It's about barely hidden beliefs. And actually there's a happy ending, but my goodness, do we go through things to learn sometimes? Oh, the things I go through to learn sometimes. When I moved to the East Bay, someone told me that my car insurance would go up, moving from the more rural North Bay to the more suburban East Bay. I came to the logical conclusion that if I changed my address on my car insurance, my rates would go up. So I didn't change it. What a smart guy. Not quite clean, not quite 100% on the up and up, but what a smart guy, right? Then a couple of weeks ago, I was making some changes that required everything in that particular area, in that paperwork, to be current and correct. And so I contacted the insurance company to do that. And I was told that after saving money for 5 years, that I've been in the East Bay, that if my math is correct, I've managed to save a total of $1,071 over the past 5 years. For Travelers Insurance Company, it turns out my rate is actually lower here than in the North Bay. $17 a month, $1,071 I saved for Travelers Insurance. What a smart guy. But I realized something along the way. I learned that anything that impedes the flow of good into and through and as me also impedes the flow of all good. Just like a hygienist, when we do this work, we need not linger too long on specifics. Where did this belief come from? But rather ask ourselves, is there anything that impedes in any way, the flow of good into and through and as me in any iteration? If I do not set upon that course of inquiry, rot will set in eventually. It cares not where the impediment came from, nor what the impediment consists of. It wants only to be well, to expand, to become more and more of what we already are, compassionate conduits through which the good of God pours itself into the world in 1,000 different ways, in and out, both given and received. My fear around a little bit of money created a blockage that ultimately cost me about $1,000. But I was also aware that that choice not to address, which is what I did. We'll talk about that more in the weeks to come, choice and free will. I was aware of, but chose not to address. And that's a big piece of the equation. I very much like this idea. That's one of our readings today that we heard at the beginning of our time together from Raymond Charles Barker. All intelligence abides in your subconscious and awaits your call upon it. You may say you don't know what to do, but at the center of your mind is the clear decision of what you should make. It's right there. It's right there. I knew it was a conscious internal choice to avoid that particular subject, you see. Easy enough to pay online and whistle a little bit in the dark and I know now, and I knew then that my thinking was in error. It was right there. I knew. I can't help but wonder what other effect that particular small choice has had on the rest of my life. I know that it does. I know it's all interconnected. I know that my work is my work to do whenever I come across it, that it does contribute in some small or large way to the greater whole. Our other reading this morning by Dr. Holmes, the power of choice with which humanity has been endowed is either a greatest blessing or a greatest curse. Properly understood, it can lift us to the heights. Misunderstood, it can drag us to the depths. We're free to choose anything that we wish, but we must accept responsibility for those choices. All kinds of choices before us in this season of our lives. I wrote something this last week, a prayer of sorts, to remind me of who and whose I am. I wrote, God is love, and love is the greatest power, and ultimately nothing can stand before it. We need our highest and best selves now, today, this week, in all of our relationships and all of our affairs. Today, I call that best and highest individual and collective self forward. Here and now, greater and more powerful with each passing moment, as loving kindness clears a path for itself and makes a greater space for its expansion and expression with every choice that we make today and in the week ahead. You and I are a place where the good of God shows up in the world. And today, this week, more than ever before, and there are 1,000 ways to kneel and kiss the ground. Make no mistake, everything that you do and think and feel and choose this week matters. We'll close this morning as promised with an excerpt from that prayer that we opened with from Dr. Holmes, a prayer from my country, he called it. And he closed it with this. The all-knowing mind of God contains the answer to every problem which confronts this country. I know that every leader in this country is now directed to this all-knowing mind and has the knowledge of a complete solution to every problem. And each is compelled to act upon this knowledge to the end that abundance, security, and peace shall come to all. I know that this spiritual democracy shall endure, guaranteeing to everyone in this country personal liberty, happiness, and self-expression. And so it is. Amen. Be gentle with yourselves this week. Be gentle with each other. Breathe a lot. Remember who and whose you are. Let's leave this week better than we found it. Something wonderful is going on right now. And it's going on through and as each of us here this morning. I wish you the best of all possible weeks. Let us pray. So I breathe into that sacred center of self, that place that Dr. Barker refers to. It's right there. We are guided, divinely guided, sustained and empowered by a power that knows only good, that seeks only to express itself and to experience itself in ever greater, more joyful, more beautiful, more powerful ways than we ever have before. We are in the midst of and on the cusp of the greatest changes and shifts and expansions and growths of our species. Papa has things well in hand. Papa's on the job. All is very well. I'm knowing that as spirit, as life celebrates and loves itself through and as every person on this planet, that it does so in ways that clearly lift up the good of life, that clearly spotlight for each of us the good, the gratitude, the kindness. that clearly illustrate to each of us, each in our own way, the thousands of ways that each of us can kneel and kiss the ground today and in the week ahead. I'm a place where the peace and the love and the light and the good of God show up in 1,000 different ways. I know that's the truth of who and what I am. I know that's the truth of who and what you are. And so I bless us, each of us, on our way this week. I call forth the good in all the ways that it desires to be expressed and to be experienced. It's a very good day. It's a very good week. I celebrate it. I give thanks for it. I rest in that gratitude and I let it be. And so it is. Amen. Blessed be. My goodness. My goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to be among you this morning. I will redirect your attention as we shift our attentions to our conscious giving and sharing. Yeah. So you know where we're at money-wise, and give what you can. I expect today to be an amazing day. If you would repeat with me our giving affirmation. Where is it? Oh, Judith, I said 27,000 a month twice. Did I mean 2,700? No, I meant 27,000, Judith. That's about our monthly overhead, plus or minus. All right, join with me as we repeat our giving affirmation together. Joyously I give, with an attitude of abundance, knowing that as I give, I do receive. And so it is. Amen. Blessed be. I will direct your attention to the front page of our website. There is that lovely www.oaklandcsl.org link right by the donate button. I invite you to click on that and spread the love. Today is a good day to spread the love. And while we do that, I will pass this off, perhaps successfully, to Constance Chapman.
You did it successfully.
I did it successfully. I'm a big kid now.
Yeah, and I don't even sing. So you certainly don't want me to sing.
Yeah.
So thank you, Jeff, Reverend Jeff, for such a beautiful talk today. And I just want to remind you that today is a good day for prayer. Every day is a good day for prayer. And that you've got many options. Our joyful Judith is going to be hosting the prayer room after service today. You can stay and get a prayer directly from.
Eckhart Tolle describes the dark night this way.
And
carry on, my friend.
And also remember that that CALM is meeting at 12:30, the Compassionate Attention to Lost Ministry. So if you need and want the support of some other practitioners and other congregants, you can join that. And anytime you can get prayer from a practitioner, that's what we do. And all you have to do is go to our website under About Us and go to the practitioner page, and you can find a list of all the practitioners who are willing to give you a free 30-minute session, or any of the practitioners in that list are willing to give you a prayer at any time. So just know that prayer is the answer. And so now that is that, and I would like to turn this over to the, I can't think of a good alliteration except the kind Kev, except it's even more than that. Kev is more than kind. He is passionate and incredibly talented, and we are so blessed to have him here. So Kev, thank you for taking us out today.
The Power of Choice.
The Power of Choice. That's actually the name of my first album. Look that up. If everyone can sing along with me, quietly, muted. Turn on your cameras if you want to wave at somebody, look at somebody in the eye, give them a smile. Because no matter what's going on, you know we are always blessed. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say Blessed Sunday.